Family, we get paid to read these books. Formal education to pay you a living. Self-education to pay you a fortune. We're reading Ronda Rousey biography this month. The energy I'm getting from it is crazy. I love any people that are doing things at a high level, and she is killing it. Listen to this. The only power people have over you is the power you give them. In judo, so many people care about rank and what degree black belt they are. I have never gotten caught up in that, which is so crazy. That's all I ever thought it was to get caught up into. Everybody, if you're doing judo or karate, it's like, what belt you got? I got this degree brown belt, this degree black belt. She said, I don't even care. Like, dang gum. Rank is based solely on a board of people getting together and saying, oh, you deserve to be such and such rank. Once you give them the power to tell you you're great, listen to this, you've also given them the power to tell you you're unworthy. Ooh-wee. Once you start caring about people's opinions of you, you give up control. Teammates, that is a freaking epidemic. Caring about what people think is like amazingly difficult to overcome when you get that ingrained in your consciousness. It's a fear of rejection, fear they're going to say no, fear what they think. That is like a vibration. It took me a lifetime to shake that. The person says no, next. Put your energy out there and be done with it. That's it, because you can be afraid somebody's going to say no, so you never even reach out. Then when it's time to present, you be afraid to ask the question to find out what the situation is so you can help them. Then when you finally get yourself to close, you're afraid if they offer you an objection, we're afraid that they're going to say the rebuttal. We know what to say and don't say it. It's like all of these little steps because we say we want to be successful, but we really care about, we're more concerned about what people are going to think or say. Whew, it's the same reason I don't get caught up in being the crowd favorite when I fight. It's why I don't read things that are written about me. One of the greatest days of my life was when I came to understand that other people's approval and my happiness were not related. Teammates, what she's saying is easier said than done. I'm telling you, most people that get away, shy away from sales, marketing, just in business for themselves, period, because they're afraid of somebody else's opinion. You got to overcome that. If I had quit just because when someone said, you still doing that thing, I'd have been quit. But you got to get past that. All right, and that wasn't even my insight. That was just the intro to the chapter. Now listen to this. So now she is getting her self together to fight this person. So she's got a fight coming up. Now listen to this. This is my insight. So the lady's name was Sarah. She was getting ready for the fight. And so she says, "If Sarah Kaufman is next in line," now this is on a Showtime broadcast. She says, "If Sarah Kaufman," she said, "I looked straight into the camera. I had thought about this moment. If Sarah Kaufman is next in line, please strike force. Let me get a crack at her. I really want to have a title fight against Misha, and I don't want to take a risk on her losing. Please give me a crack at Sarah, then Misha. I swear I'll put on a good show." Now listen to this. She said, "It was the first ever nationally televised women's call-out. No woman fighter in MMA had ever really called anyone out in such a public setting." Listen to this. "It was both a plea and a performance. It was my first attempt at being an entertainer." Teammates, you got to put some energy out there. You got to be a showman. I mean, it's not just because, in our world, financial services can be boring and we just talk about insurance policies and the mutual. Man, ain't nothing more boring to talk about than some life insurance. But when it comes to business and being free and entrepreneurship and building a business and distribution, you got to put some energy and passion out there, and that's what gets people's attention. The passion, people follow the passion, not just the boring 1 + 1 = 2. Listen to this. Then listen, she said, the fight game, and Muhammad Ali was doing this in the 50s. Muhammad Ali was the first showman in boxing. He spent millions of dollars putting signs on around his bus, driving around all over the world, promoting his own fights. We got to promote ourselves. So the fight game is not just about the fight. It's about the show. The athleticism is an integral part of the show, but that alone is not enough to keep people coming back. People watch fighters, but they remember characters. You have to keep them excited, and you have to make them intrigued. You have to captivate them. Teammates, if we want to be successful, we have to be our own biggest promoter. That's the point. All right, now, go on. So now she's getting ready to fight. And she says, in the days leading up to the podcast, I spent now listen to this. Now she's talking about these interviews. She only won 4 professional fights total. And she is like blowing up so fast. She's just starting to do television interviews. She's just starting to get in the limelight and all this publicity. But she's handling it great. She's learning. She's going. She's progressing. She says, I did the same thing I would do ahead of a fight. I prepared. She's talking about how she's preparing for the interviews. In the days leading up to the podcast, I spent every waking moment either fight training or debate training. Between practices and before going to bed, I read every article I could find on her. I scoured her social media. I watched interviews she gave. I jotted down every point Maisha had made. Every argument against me she had already tried, and arguments that she hadn't even conceived of yet. I took notes that I had typed up on a friend's computer. During breaks at practice, I would pull out the cheat sheet containing both points of view, and I handed it to one of the guys at the gym. Say something and I refute it. Teammates, that's called preparation. In our world, that's called mastering your presentation. In our world, that's called product knowledge. You got to know how our products work, and you got to know how all the competitors' products work. You got to be able to explain both sides, both arguments, why one is good and why it's not, vice versa. It's called preparation. Teammates, for some, in a lot of cases, people expect to have all of this success, and they don't even know what they're doing. It don't even make any sense. You can't even explain anything about this, and no one is going to trust you with their money with that level of understanding and communication and in your presentation. So work on your preparation. And the key is, and this is probably the secret, you got to do that when nobody else is watching. A lot of people think this I'm going to learn all this stuff at training. I'm coming to training and someone is going to teach me how to learn everything I need to know. No, no, and no. I went all to training, but also I would study. My car is a classroom. I would get books on personal finance, like all those personal finance for dummies, blah, 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 blah. Tons of books. I was working on preparing myself, not just what my coach was saying to me in training. Training is part of it, but it's not all of it. 80% of operating at a championship level is what you do is self-preparation. Is what you do when nobody else is watching. That's the word. Because if you just wait, I'm gonna learn. No. When you can't never turn this off till you get to a certain level. All right, last point, and I'm gonna let y'all go. Now this is leading up to the intro to the next chapter. And this is huge. This is huge. Listen to this. Winning is a habit. Aristotle said, we are what we repeatedly do. Excellence then is not an act, but a habit. Winning is a habit, and so is losing. You can get in the habit of going into a tournament, a meeting, or an audition, telling yourself, this is just for practice. If I fail, I can always try again later. Ooh, listen to what? Listen, you're going to miss it. This is just for practice. If I fail, I can always try again later. If you go in with your excuses already laid out for you, it's hard to shake that mindset when the later finally comes. Teammates, now this is when people come into business, in our business, in my opinion, any kind of business, from being an employee, then one of the number one lessons or mindsets and mentalities we have to help people adopt is having an incredible sense of urgency. When you got a job, you get paid every 2 weeks. Obviously, you got goals, and you got goals, and you're trying to, accomplish, check off all your to-do list. But it's not really it's not the same. When you're in business for yourself, as soon as you get to the office, I swear it's lunchtime. Soon as I get fired, by the time you make a phone call, the day over. The day goes by so fast, it's incredible. You got to have a sense of urgency to move these numbers. It's no tomorrow. If somebody says, well, we can do it today, well, we could, but what you doing when you get off at 5? No, they may say, well, can we meet tomorrow? Well, we could, but what you doing when you get off today? It's like everything's got to be packed in today. That's a mindset. Having that win today energy, I need to put that on a shirt. Win today energy. You gotta operate like there is no tomorrow. Teammates, cause when you put stuff off, it just dissipates, it just disappears. The people that we was gonna see tomorrow, we just never see them. Something came up, something unforeseen, something happened, and you just never get around, and it just never happens. Teammates, that's done happened to me so much, it just makes me want to cry thinking about it. That's why so I guess people wonder, well, why, Chris, why you act like you in such a big hurry? Because I know tomorrow's not promised. And tomorrow may not be, when I say tomorrow's not promised, I don't mean we won't be dead tomorrow. I mean the opportunity is going to be gone. Love you guys. I hope y'all love this stuff, man. I'm preaching better than y'all saying amen. This is some good stuff right here. I love this. We get paid to read these books, and we are going to run this play again tomorrow.